Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Nee here. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to week 3. I just want to apologize for last week. I wasn't as active on the discussion boards as I would have liked. I was traveling all week. One of my best friends was getting married, so there was a lot that had to do there. So excited to jump back in this week and keep the ball rolling. As we move into week 3, just a couple quick things before I kind of talk about what to kind of expect for this week. Typically, I try to get your discussion boards and your journals done as soon as possible. So hopefully before Wednesday, both of those should be graded so you have an idea of what to look for as you're navigating through your first milestone, which we're going to talk about here in a sec. One of the big things as we walk into week 3 that we're going to really talk about is really what we call best practices, right? This is a simple concept, essentially just saying, hey, what are some best practices for social media and specific platforms? For this particular milestone, we're actually going to focus on best practices overall for social media, things that you should keep in mind. I think this is really great if you're not used to social media or someone you're just starting out. This is a really great week for you just to kind of dive into things that you may not know or realize that are important when you're thinking about social media management, social media posting, things like that. So that's kind of what we're going to be focusing on this week. So take a look at that, pay attention to that, because that's going to be helpful, especially for the milestone. As I mentioned at the very beginning of the term, our first milestone our milestones are going to be the massive assignments put together at the end, and week 7 is going to be your final project. So this is the first half of your final project that's due. It's your milestone 1. Again, as I've stated before, it's going to be over your final project organization, not your social organization or the social organization you do for your discussion boards. This is over your final project organization, your client that does not do social media well. So in this particular announcement, I'm going to give a couple different examples for you, but I just really briefly want to go over each section. So the first section is talking about how social media has been used by businesses over the decade. So again, research is going to be important. But also, I think the big part of this is going to be important, is explain how businesses have evolved because of social media. That's going to be really important, not just a history lesson on social media, but how businesses have been used or how businesses have evolved because of social media. Summarize established best practices. Again, so for this milestone, we are not, and I need this needs to be very clear, this is at least for this first half, we're not diving super specific with your client yet. So this first particular section is not related to your client. These are just best practices for social media in general. So you're not saying for Facebook and Instagram or Twitter and YouTube. This is just general best practices for social media across the board. Third, explain opportunities and limitations. I always say give at least 3 opportunities and 3 limitations for each for social media overall. Again, not for a specific platform, but for social media overall. Then as we break down, the next thing is going to be current state. This is where we're going to start talking a little bit more about your client specifically. So first, and talk about your current state. Who are they? What are they? What's their audience? How do they connect? Do they have social media? If they don't have social media, how do they communicate? If they do have social media, what are they posting? How are they posting it? Just give a good comprehensive look at the current state of the organization or business. Then what you're going to do is you're going to select 2 goals out of 4 that the rubric shows for you. So there's drive traffic to website, increase brand awareness, connect with customers and clients, and demonstrate expertise. You are going to choose 2 out of those 4. You're not going to make up your own. You're going to grab 2 of those 4. And then what I always like to tell students is for each one that you choose, I would have a section, just like a paragraph, explaining why you chose that particular goal. And I think that's going to be really important for you to justify why you decided to go to that specific goal. So you'll choose 2, justify each one. Then the final one, this is the final section. It often gets kind of blurred with everything else. This is its own unique section, asking how audience engagement through social media can help achieve its goals. So help achieve your client's goals. So this is where you're going to talk about how does engagement in social media help increase the goals that you just said for your client. So I would create an example, use an example, maybe make one up of ways you can see how that all works out. So that's just essentially what the first milestone is all about. A couple tips, as I'm going to mention before, use section titles is going to be massive to make sure that everything's clear. It's easier for me to grade. It's easier for you to make sure you're not missing anything. I have included a section title guide for you. Another thing is just pay attention to the rubric. That's going to be huge, right? Make sure you're not missing sections, things like that. I know this is a little bit longer of a video than I would have anticipated or would have liked, but I just want to make sure you guys have all the tools you need for this particular week. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks, guys.